I was able to come back during the pandemic because of my daughter. She wrote a letter to President Tsai Ing-wen telling her, please let my father come back. The next day, Taiwan Foreign Ministry called her and said, we will help to bring your husband back. The fact that the government is listening to the wishes of a 10-year-old girl, I think that's very, very amazing.
2022年的奥斯卡季节即将进入热季了。那除了在各国，还有在美国的好莱坞本土的这些电影工业之外呢，其实最受注目的是近期这个代表不丹入围到了奥斯卡的这个最佳国际影片这个项目的，这就是不丹是教室了。那其实不丹是教室这一部片呢，跟台湾也有非常深厚的缘分。话不多说，我先介绍这部片的导演跟监制，不丹是教室的导演 Pawo。Thank
you for having us and welcome to our house.
Yeah. 以及这部电影的监制赖凡云。
Hello， 大家好，微博好，不好意思让你们雨中跑一趟。
不会，其实今天非常开心的，就是我们在聊天的过程当中，我们以前都是在Full Play 跟大家喝，可是今天呢，能够来到 Pawo 跟云的家，我们先 cheers 一下。这一次能够来到这边，其实就要非常恭喜两位，就是入围到了奥斯卡这个蛮神奇的殿堂。
Thank you so much. It is miraculous. I still feel it is a dream that maybe tomorrow I will wake up and realize it was all in my dream.
No, you are in reality.
Hello everyone, my name is Pawo Choyning Dorji. I'm from Bhutan. I am the writer and director of Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom. We made this film in the world's most remote classroom, high up in the Himalayas. So remote that we didn't even have electricity. We made the film totally on solar batteries, and it is about finding where you belong, finding happiness. All the actors are acting for the first time. In fact, all the villagers, they had never been out of the village, so they had never even watched a film. So to get people who have no idea about what cinema is to act in a film. So you can just imagine how improbable this journey has been. And finally, somehow getting it into the Oscars, where all the experts ranked us last out of 92 films. Somehow we made it into the short list of 15. And in the 15, we were again ranked last. And somehow again, we made it into the nomination of top 5. It's been a surreal journey, and as I said, very dreamlike. But it is, I hope that this is a journey that inspires younger generation of filmmakers, storytellers, artists, creators to know and to dream that if they put their heart into it, share a story, the world can be your stage. So thank you.
其实我们真的没有任何期望，而且根本就不觉得这部片子可能会跟奥斯卡有任何关系，因为从台湾上片就是一个，其实海鹏就姚哥他们会愿意买我们的片子，我们也已经觉得就是非常受宠若惊，然后他们居然是在台湾这样弄得很。就帮我们弄得很棒，然后我也就很感激。可是后来到了要申请奥斯卡的时候，其实就有朋友建议说，你们可以投一下奥斯卡，然后我们就投了。然后第一年就是其实大家知道，就是我们其实是没有被接受。
I keep saying very surreal, because this is my first film. It's not supposed to be like this. For filmmakers, reaching the Oscars is like, I think, their career's most important achievement.
Yes.
And for me, I've been very fortunate. Somehow with my first film being an Oscar-nominated film, it's very surreal, but it inspires me a lot to work harder, to make more movies, to share stories from Bhutan. But what I have to tell is that, and I've said this in many interviews as well, when I submitted my movie to the Oscars, it was not for recognition, it was not for nomination. It was because I wanted a place for Bhutan on the world stage. Because in the Oscar website, Bhutan was not even there.
网络上你要打进去什么的国籍，他不丹都没有出来，就是没有那个选项。
My language was not there.
然后我们用的语言是中卡，对中课，然后国家跟语言没有啊，就是没有选择。
When I submitted the movie, it was to create a space on the international stage for my country. When we finally submitted, so many film experts told me that the Oscars, it functions in a very different way. It's not just about sending a movie and they'll watch it and then they will put you in. It's a lot of money involved. You have to have distributors.
Yeah.
You have to have
讲大白
publicists.
话是
You have to
It's very honest.
and the international race is a country race. So all the countries' governments are paying money
Yeah.
to the film to promote. We had nothing. We had no distributor, we had no publicist, and we had no money from Bhutan government. So how do we compete, Other films, our entire film's budget is what they are spending in 1 week of campaign. How do we compete?
Yeah.
So nobody gave us a chance. We didn't give ourselves a chance. But sometimes, amazing things happen. So I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Using this platform, I want to thank all the distributors, all the festivals that took a chance on us when nobody knew us.
谢谢。
So, like our distributor here in Taiwan, Haipeng, they picked us up way in the beginning when nobody
Yeah.
knew of us.
Very, very beginning.
very beginning.
所以我真的很感谢姚哥。
Also, distributors like in Japan, our France distributor, Swiss distributor, and of course our agent, Films Boutique based in Berlin. They picked us up, before nobody heard of us, nobody believed in us. I think what the film has achieved is not just us, but all of us together.
因为我觉得这其实是一个一开始没有预想到的，你们的作品把你们带到了世界的这么多的地方，产生了一个很奇妙的旅程。
对啊，而且是第一部我们都觉得我自己都还在学习呢。你知道，从来跟电影也没有真的太多关联，所以就从头学，就没有想到说可以这样子在世界各地，你知道。
对，虽然语音说他这是他的第一部电影，但是我要为所有的观众科普一下，他其实是表演工作坊这么台湾金字招牌的剧团赖声川老师的女儿，所以说他是有这个家学渊源的。所以为什么在节目的一开始我说，介绍这个 Pawo 是台湾女婿是这样的一个原因，也跟台湾有非常深厚的渊源。
Well, the thing is, when we got shortlisted, I felt like whatever luck I had was finished on that. And as I was saying, it's very difficult because when we got shortlisted, the first question our distributor who came in asked was how much money is Bhutan government putting in?
国家补助，
对，说多少钱，他们会补助多少
None, because I come from a very poor
But he
country.
asked you the question.
Because
he
all the-
want to earn your money.
No, because all the other films have money from their country.
government？
Yeah.
If you look at international films that get nominated, it's always rich countries. It's never poor countries.
True.
Japan, Korea, France, Italy, it's always the rich countries. It's not countries like Bhutan. So the thing is, why I'm saying this is, it's very unlikely, right, that we will get nominated. And plus, like I said, we were ranked last, 15. So the moment the shortlist was announced, everyone in Bhutan, because they don't understand how it works, they said, oh, for sure, you will get nominated. And I said, no, it's not like that. It's not very simple. It's a lot of, money involved, support, campaigning. It's very, very complicated. It's not very simple. So we have no chance. So please stop saying we will get nominated. But everyone, school children, city people, villagers, people in Lunana. When I said, we have no money, the Bhutanese people said, no, doesn't matter. We are praying. So when the Oscar announcement was coming, I realized that if I tell all my family and friends, okay, tomorrow, 7 o'clock at night, Oscar will announce. I felt like then if we don't make, everyone will feel disappointed. So I told nobody. And in fact, she was lying down in bed and I was playing
我
video
在
games.
睡觉，我那9点钟我已经躺在床上准备要睡觉，然后他在打电动。
And while playing video games, then, I realized I get messaging on my phone, WhatsApp messages from everywhere. All the Bhutanese are watching live. And I thought, oh no, it's so
就没
sad.
想到，你知道他开始收到很多简讯，就还没有公布题。
My family, my friends, Bhutanese in Australia, Bhutanese in America, all watching live. And at that moment, I thought, oh no, all of them will get disappointed now. Of course, when it announced, they said we made it. I couldn't believe. I thought maybe they made mistake, A few years back, they made mistake with Best Picture. they said La La Land. And then after 5 minutes, they said, oh, no, Moonlight. So I thought, oh, can't be. Maybe they made mistake. She was very happy. She was like screaming. And then I thought, oh, no. Even after announcing, I still played video game with my friends. I mean, the news came, I was like, oh, We made it. Oh, okay, great. Then after that, so many messages coming in, people journalists from around the world. So then I said, okay, I have to go now. And I turned it off. It took a while to really, realize what had happened. As a filmmaker, I'm grateful, but more than a filmmaker, I'm proud as a Bhutanese because this is the first time our country has achieved this, We don't get to such, international levels. So to be one of the 5 films nominated for Bhutan, I'm very proud.
其实不丹的这个影视创作，我觉得没有到非常成熟，因为它毕竟，我觉得大概只有大概20-30年的，就是说它从影视开始，只有这个文化开始，
基础还是萌芽阶段。
对。然后很多他们是会跟着印度啊、宝莱坞的那种形式，但其实真的很少，连电影院都不算有。它有一个放映厅，但是就是你要自己带你的电脑去插耳投影，然后你知道吗？就不是真正的电影院。
没有 Ultimos， 没有杜比，
没有什么不能放 DCP。对。
You might find this interesting because you're coming from TV. Bhutan was the last country in the world to connect to television.
Yeah.
And that happened when I was a teenager. Before that, TV was banned because the government felt like TV would bring bad influence from outside. So we didn't have any TV growing up. Only when I was like 12, 13, we connected to television.
That was like 2000.
Yeah, early 2000s.
对，就是大概2000年、千禧年过了以后，不丹才真的有电视。
So very late. Even like cinema, right? If you talk about cinema, what do you expect in a cinema? Surround sound, right? And DCP,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Taiwan cinemas, everywhere you go, it's DCP. You talk about IMAX.
Yeah.
In Bhutan, even to this day, we don't have that. Bhutan cinema.
You just use projector?
Yeah, it's a big
Really?
hall.
Seriously?
Yes. It's just a big hall with a projector. That's it.
You have to connect with your
and
own
others,
computer.
Yeah, so you take your computer and you put chord and then you play. That's it. We have only 2 such halls. Others is basically a tent in the parking lot of, outside. They pitch a tent, you put a
有些露
projector.
天的啦，但
So
也
it's
是一
like
样。
that.
就是像那种就是停车场的这种露天电影院。
然后就是用投
So,
影机吧。
imagine how like the rest of the world was maybe like 30, 40 years ago. That's how it is in Bhutan.
所以它还是一个很前期在影视工业上的发展。
对
我蛮好奇的，因为不丹是个幸福的国度，以前是比较少这种我称之为红尘俗世的讯息的这个介入，即便是比较晚有这些影视文化的介入，对于整个不丹的国家产生什么样的影响？
It's kind of, because we were so careful about opening up. When we did finally open up, it kind of creates all these interesting stories. Like this movie. The character in this movie, like he represents Bhutanese youth. For many years, they only knew what was in Bhutan and then they were happy. But suddenly TV comes in, internet comes in. They look at movies and then they think, oh, America is like that. Australia is like that. What am I doing here with my yaks? I want to go there. So that idea changes, then you end up wanting more. You are not satisfied with what you have. You want to go beyond the mountains. So a lot of that is happening.
这其实也体现在他的电影里面。
对，就是说不丹的年轻人其实是会被影响，被所谓的西方主流文化吸引，然后就会想要去国外看一看啊，可能就留下啦或什么，就是会觉得可能在不丹是不足够的这样子。
我觉得那是一一个人生的过程，说不定他走了一圈之后，青年返乡，归于返乡，
对，
这也是有可能的。
Yeah, they might come back,
Yeah. So that's why in this movie, I'm not telling younger people not to follow your dreams. Yes, follow your dreams, go wherever you want, but you have to know where you're coming from. And when you go there, you have to be able to sing your own songs. So.
其实一开始我们有在想说，是不是要用长途跋涉那8天，让所有的工作人员一起走，就跟这个老师一样走路上去。但后来我们决定不行这样，因为上去了他们可能就累毙了，然后就可能还要再花个10天，然后才能复原，那个经费实在太高。后来我们还是就是折中了，然后就是有请了直升机载了工作人员上去，但是我们所有的器材是半年前、1年前就已经先是用那个驴子啊、骡子啊，然后把它就是这样驮上去的。其实连不丹人上去都有些微的高山症。
When you want to shoot in a place like that, There's just so many challenges. Living up there is just so difficult, you know. The place to this day has no electricity. How do you shoot feature film with no electricity? We had to rely on solar batteries. We were in pre-production for almost a year and a half, where we had to take solar batteries, you know, panels. We were so high that, for example, we had no wood to make our food.
太高了，就是已经高过树可以生长的那个高度。
So we had to carry firewood up. The village itself is only like 40, 50 people. And when we come with 35 crew members, you know, it's like another village coming in. There was no accommodation, you know, we had to build our own temporary housing. And living up there, we have become so spoiled by living in modern life, you know, comfortable beds. If we feel cold, we put AC heater on. If we feel hot, we can put AC cold on. If we feel dirty, we can go wash. In Lunana, it wasn't like that. If you're cold, you're cold. If you're wet, you're wet. If you want some really nice food like a Neuromian, you can't get that.
Yeah.
There is no refrigerator up there. Whatever food we were eating was all food that could last long time. Dried vegetables.
带了很多干，什么南瓜干啦、肉干啦、
So it was all
什么
like
果
that.
干上去。对。
We didn't have beds to sleep on. We were sleeping on the floor for 2.5 months. No shower. It's easy to think, but when you actually have to do it, very difficult. And it's so high. You're talking to almost like 4,500 meters above sea level. I come from a place where it is already high, you know. Where I live, it's like maybe 1,500, 1,800. But when you go to Lunana, you can really feel it. You know, it's so tiring.
而且上面没有收讯，所以后来我就回台湾了，然后他就变得1个月没有办法联络，就是他只有忽然可能某一个 WhatsApp 可以用，然后他就会半夜4点走到一个角落还是什么的，然后发个讯息。
And a lot of crew members getting altitude sickness. Some were getting altitude
高
sickness.
山症
对
啊。
后来还要
Even
送他们下
Bhutanese
山。
getting, you know. Some, I had to send our art director back because he was getting very sick. Some also getting cabin fever. If you are in too remote, then you start getting anxiety, you know.
就是有些那个他们心里都有点忧
Because-
郁足了，因为实在太遥远了，那个偏僻。
Imagine
心理上
对，
面也有
心理上承担不了，承受不了，
Imagine
那么
living
遥
with
远。
no electricity every day. You know, every day at around 5, 6, it's dark. You can't see anything. You know, it's you can't call your family. You can't check internet. You can't go on Facebook. You can't go on Instagram. After some time, many people were getting very like you know I want to go back now. You know.
然后我觉得，其实我后来觉得对我来讲很惊险的事情是，因为我们没有电，85%是太阳能发电，所以它那个太阳能只够我们发我们一台摄影机的电，
跟一般那种有发电机片场完全不一样。
对，我们连看回放都没有那个电可以看回放，所以他一个月是没有看过回放，就你拍完一整天，你没有电看。你拍了什么东西？所以后来我们是回到台湾，全部东西都已经回到台湾，在剪接室才看。那如果你少拍的东西，那就也没办法。
锻炼了另外一种导演的功力，没能看回放。
Can't see the footage.
No, I couldn't see the footage at all.
那我觉得好惊险，因为你万一漏拍的东西，或者是你这个东西不行，那我们也没有办法回去重拍啊。
Throughout the shoot, we had only one camera.
Yeah.
I had a small monitor to see what was happening.
Yeah.
And that also I lost it because one of our crew members had an accident and it went into the river,
对
you know.
他看那个他的 monitor 后来就掉到那个小溪里。
Very challenging, very challenging. Like as she was saying, I only saw what we had shot when I came to Taiwan. Back up there, it was just like, okay, are we getting everything, you know? When we had our production, like, you know, crew meetings, it was always at night, you know, everyone with flashlight because in the dark.
我蛮好奇的，在这样的这个硬体资源跟外部环境如此拮据的状况下，他到底是一个怎么样的信念让他完成这一部
Yeah,
片？
so
Two things. One is, if I wanted to tell the story, it had to be Lunana. The story is about looking for your answers in life, right? And many times, not only in Bhutan, I think all over the world, people, when they look for what they want to seek out of life, they are always looking in the light, in the modern, in the urban. So I wanted to take it on the other side, something very remote, you know, in the darkness. So can we find what we are seeking in the light, in the shadows, in the darkness? That was what I wanted.
媒体也会称呼他是台湾女婿。对台湾的生活，他怎么去看？因为其实跟不丹很不一样。
It is very different, but I had a very multicultural upbringing. My father was a diplomat. So because of that, I lived in India, I lived in Middle East, I lived in Europe, I lived in America. So because of that, I think the adjustment made it easy. And you know, the people here are so friendly, they are so warm-hearted. It's wonderful. I'm very happy that, you know, my two children, they get to grow up in a place like Taiwan.
这我可以补充，因为你知道，他觉得台湾的所有的行政部门都超棒，而且超级 efficient。比如说要去办居留证、办什么，然后大家态度都很好。他说，如果在印度，就是你可能等10天都排不到你这样。反正他就觉得说我们非常幸运。然后我每次有的时候会说，哎呀，这要等好久啊，什么还要去这里，还要去。说你真的你
没有比较，
对，你不要再 complain。
I have to say something. I was able to come back during the pandemic because of my daughter. She wrote a letter to President Tsai Ing-wen, telling her, please let my father come back. The next day, you know, the Taiwan Foreign Ministry called her and said, we will help to bring your husband back. And what I was telling them and our Taiwanese friends, you all are very lucky. In other parts of the world, nobody will care that a 10-year-old girl is writing a letter to the president. Nobody will care. Especially in places like where I come from, you know, like India, all that. No, it's like oh, very cute, that's it, you know. The fact that the government is listening to the wishes of a 10-year-old girl, I think that's very, very amazing. You all have it very lucky, and I hope you will appreciate that.
Yeah. 可以请他用中客语给台湾还有我们已经到底的观众一些祝福吗？
Kuzambola te ngachigina beskoblu na Taiwan na jumi mi garagi namsme japchurnaila te anilu namsme kadiche sejudola kadichela.
这意思是什么
What did you? It's like thanking.
I said that people who are staying here in Taiwan, you all have supported our little movie a lot, and for that I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful beyond the sky, beyond the earth.
对，不丹有一句话，我觉得很可爱，我从以前就一直很喜欢，就是叫做 Beyond Earth and Sky.
Yeah,
就是
my
超越了
gratitude is so vast. It goes beyond the sky and beyond the earth.
超越了天跟地，这样子还蛮有意思的。
很开心两位今天跟我们分享了这么多，而且台湾的公部门真的非常有效率。
对，
台湾呢
行政部门
会倾听儿童的声音。对，而且再次感谢导演还有云把不丹的电影还有一些台湾的制作元素能够带到奥斯卡。那也谢谢两位今天接受我们的访问。不丹是教室呢，现在再次在院线上映，也在MyVideo上面持续的播出，希望大家能够有机会再看一次这部电影。再次感谢两位，谢谢所有观众朋友的收看，请记得持续锁定Momo TV 75台，还有订阅我们的频道，按赞，开启小铃铛，谢谢大家，拜拜，
谢谢，拜拜。
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.